Hey guys, it's Nancy here from the Health Stack. Today we are going to talk a little bit about all things sleep. Now, if there's one thing that probably most women, clients or friends or relatives, other people that I discuss health issues with, probably the most pervasive and most debilitating in some ways, one of those changes that seems to occur during midlife is a reduction in the quantity and the quality of sleep. And we know it can be really debilitating when you're night after night after night not getting a great sleep. So in this video, and then in the next few videos that will follow, we're going to look at some explanations and some things that you can try and improve your sleep quality and quantity. So the first one we're going to talk about today is hormonal. So we're going to look specifically at progesterone. Now, progesterone, we do hear about progesterone, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone being our three main sex hormones. Progesterone, though, is really only made in our bodies after ovulation in our menstrual cycle when we're still cycling. So as throughout the course of our cycle, we know that our body signals these follicles from our ovaries to start growing and developing, and eventually one of those follicles is chosen as the best and brightest and juiciest to release its egg, at which point we have ovulation. It's not only until after ovulation that our bodies produce progesterone. So the little follicle that housed the egg is called once the egg leaves, it's called the corpus luteum. And that now empty body actually becomes an endocrine body, and it starts to release progesterone. So as our eggs decrease in number and quality, what happens is that the integrity of that corpus luteum, the quality of that corpus luteum kind of decreases over time. So as we age, our bodies tend to start to decrease in the amount of progesterone the corpus luteum will produce. And even as we age, what happens is that more and more the body determines that the quality of the egg or the follicle itself is not really that great, so we won't even ovulate. So over time, what tends to happen is we get a very kind of linear decline in our progesterone. It tends to kind of be the first hormone and the most kind of linear drop. So it's the first one to kind of start to decline, whereas estrogen is kind of all over the shop. Progesterone is doing kind of a slow linear decline. So women, even in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, are really starting to notice when their sleep starts to decline, and often it has to do with this progesterone. Now, what happens is that progesterone, when it passes through our liver, so if we're not taking oral progesterone already, but when it's just being endogenously or in our body being produced, and we get less and less of it, what happens is that as it passes through our liver, the liver helps to break down progesterone. And when it breaks it down, we get a byproduct called a metabolite. Now, one of the metabolites of progesterone helps with a neurotransmitter known as GABA. And it increases the activity either by increasing the actual amount of the GABA or by attaching to the receptors of GABA. And that GABA is one of the neurotransmitters that slows your brain, calms your brain, and helps you to sleep. So when we have less and less progesterone, we have less and less of this GABA receptor activity or result that helps us to calm our brain. And what we get instead is a racing mind, difficulty falling asleep, difficulty maintaining sleep. We get anxiety, we get depression. And the more that we can add progesterone in, the better that we will feel. Now, for some women, if you have kind of had chronic sleep issues in your life, or maybe you noticed it during pregnancy or postpartum or other stressful times in your life, It could be that you were having anovulatory cycles even in your 30s. So one of the things that you could do, if you're really starting to notice your increased anxiety, if you're really increased, insomniatic, like you can't fall asleep or you can't stay asleep, maybe you need to discuss with your practitioner whether or not some oral micronized bioidentical progesterone, which is exactly the same as the progesterone your body naturally produces, might be something for you to try. Now, in North America, there's a pharmaceutical known as Prometrium, which is that. In the UK and other places, it's known as Utrogestin. So you could definitely talk to your practitioner and see if maybe that, rather than say a sleeping pill, would be a good option for you to try. Right, subscribe to the channel below, and there will be some more ideas on what is going on with our sleep and some suggestions for how you might be able to improve it. Take care.